Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's The Man from Nowhere. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. Today is January the 20th, and we're going to be talking about the movie The Man from Nowhere.
That's right, and that was requested to us by the enigmatic Asia guy, who is probably a 9-foot-tall black guy.
Thank you.
Basically, the story follows a little girl whose only friend, or part friend, is the very quiet pawn shop owner
That
lives next door. Something happens to her mother, and she gets taken hostage, and the pawn shop owner must save the day.
Vigilante style.
Vigilante style. So yeah, that's essentially the plot. That's all I got. I don't know what else to say about the plot.
All right. Well, what did you think of it?
Okay. Asia guy. Since you were the one who requested it, I'm going to say I apologize. First of all, let me point out all the cliche things that I've seen in this film. It stars as the protagonist is ex-military man who's brooding over the loss of his daughter, of his family actually. It was his son, right? It was the mother and the son. So he's brooding over the loss of his family, and he kind of goes quiet, off the grid. I did mention that he was ex-military. And then something happens that forces him in, and he becomes the reluctant hero who is so badass that he just well, maybe not so badass because he definitely gets hit up a lot, but, suddenly becomes the badass that he used to be.
Right.
So that is terribly cliche. It's been done before. There are some gripping aspects to it. For one, the child slavery, or the organ harvesting, the brutal things that that scene where the wife gets killed, the flashback, that just killed me, I was like, oh my God, that totally startled me, so that was good. I liked that. Not that I liked that happened, but, that was definitely a gripping moment. The other things, the fight scenes, in the beginning, it's very, it's Hitchcock in that they don't show the initial fight scenes. He's just, like Akuma's special move, where everything goes black and then all you see is these sparks, it kind of reminds me of that, where you don't actually see what happens, but it's so super badass, and then it gets into the, really? I thought
I'm not sure I really saw those moments. I don't know what you're talking about, really. I mean,
in the very beginning, it kind of moves away from what's happening, and then you just know that he beats the crap out of them. So it kind of switches off to a different plot point for a second, and then it comes back to him, and you just know that he kicks some ass.
I didn't see that, because, are you talking about, with the fat guy?
No.
When they invade his home?
I'm trying to remember what happened to the fat... Oh, yeah, I think it did do that.
Because he basically, he takes care of business in, one fell swoop, and then it cuts. That's all he needed.
Okay, no. Then somewhere in the beginning, I know that there was, 2 or 3 scenes where you did not see him fight, but he did it. And
Are you sure it was him, though?
It was him.
Okay, I was thinking maybe it was the bad guys, because I think some of the bad guys didn't have the talent.
No. There was a group of people. It was him. It kind of blacks out so that you don't see anything, or it moves off what's really happening, and then it comes back, and he's just standing there kicking ass.
Anyway, continue.
So that part I liked, and then the fight scenes with the knives, the
brutal.
Yeah, those were so cool. Those were great scenes. How many scenes were there? I think there was more than one. But those were really cool, where he's like, that, yeah, and it comes around, yeah. That's so awesome.
I also thought there's one moment near the end where, they're doing the whole thing where they're one trying to stab, the other one's grabbed or whatever, and the other hand is there. And then he moves the bladed hand to his, so he can have the other hand free to then shove the knife into his heart. That's kind of like a brutal, oh, ow. It's like taking... Well, stabbing anybody, but taking a life as well with a knife must be so, intense, visceral, and it's hard to do. But anyway, that's something I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, so I think that those scenes were done really well. I enjoyed those thoroughly.
I agree and disagree with you. I agree that there are very cliche plot line. It is cliche. We've seen it a million times in American cinema or the like. The thing that makes it different is it is Korean, right?
Yeah, but that's. I mean,
I'm thrilled to see a Korean movie maker make a movie of this caliber.
Yes, that's true.
Even though it is cliche, and there is enough there to make it unique.
Yeah.
And I do, it's a cliche because it is what you know what I mean? Like, there is a reason it's a cliche. It's a stereotype. People like this.
Yeah.
Overpowered guy who goes it alone. Is kind of an underdog, but that he's super, he's
ex-military.
got some training.
Yeah.
He is bad.
Don't get me wrong. I did absolutely enjoy the movie as a whole. I would recommend it if you have time to watch the movie. I would totally recommend watching this movie because I did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is so much cliche in there, and I guess I am biased in that I'm not a huge action star fan. I mean, I love the kung fu movies, but those are uniquely kung fu. They focus in on styles and cool fight scenes, and the best thing I could say about this movie is definitely the knife battles. They were very well choreographed. So.
I will say that I was expecting, because like Ong Bak and stuff are popular right now, I was expecting a little bit more martial arts, and possibly because it was Chinese and Korean, but I was actually happy to see that it wasn't. I mean, there's some gunplay and there's the knife fights, but there's very little martial arts in here. And it really becomes kind of the tender moments between the girl and him, even though he wants to keep his distance and whatever. But like you say, that is fairly cliche. I mean, it happens in lots of movies, but maybe not quite this way. There is the sex slavery, or not sex. I think they're in a brothel, but the kids aren't.
Right.
They're just there to like serve the other and clean up.
They're in what's called the
they make cocaine and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they make heroin and stuff, but they also do delivery runs and stuff.
Right. They're couriers. Underground black market kind of couriers. But so there is enough to keep it interesting. I would have liked to see them do more with the story, but I'm not familiar with the director. We'll have to look and see if he has other stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way of saying it. Visually, I mean, plot wise, it's okay. It's we've seen it before, but visually, it is. I did enjoy it. I liked Bin Wan being the main character, and I forget his it's like Cha something. But I did like his performance. I liked his acting a lot. I thought he pulled it off very well. The brooding ex-military who just lost all of his family. I think he pulled that off very well.
Yeah, I like it when he had long hair. I thought it was cool. Just his one eye peeking out.
Yeah, I did too.
When he shaved his head, he just kind of
it looked regular. Normal. I liked. I can't believe I'm going to be talking about this guy's hair, but I liked when it was wet. It kind of added a dimension to it.
Yeah, and some of the bad guys are really good. Oh, yes. That was another thing I wanted to say. One thing that I noticed is that, we in America, we do have the stereotypical, like, cop buddies. But I thought their interpretation of the cop buddy, maybe it's stereotypical for them, but it was hilarious. I love that cop guy. He's so dorky.
Yes.
And the facial expressions he has are ridiculous.
Yeah, so I did like him too. You're absolutely right.
And then there's that one scene that I remember for some reason. I don't know why, but the one that he's thrown out of the window, the good guy's thrown out of the window, and the golf netting catches him.
Right.
For some reason, he was just laying there as if he had hit the ground and died, and for some reason that struck me. I'm not sure really why. And then, of course, it saved his life, and he's able to fight another day. And then the bad guy that he's chasing, happens to drive right underneath him.
Yeah, so it cuts it open.
So it becomes useful. But just that him falling to his death and then being saved by a net, and there's a static shot of that for a couple seconds, just holding on it. For some reason, that said something to me. I'm not sure what, but the memory. I will always remember that movie for that.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I guess that was a very
striking or something, and
Yeah, I guess that is a visual. Yeah.
I don't know. He looked like he was dead, but he was not. He was saved. So anyway, whatever. So it is an interesting film, and I will look and see if that director has more.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it was kind of like a Jason Statham or a Jet Li movie or something.
I wouldn't say Jet Li, but yeah.
Well, I think Unleashed, without the whole dog part, is kind of like, it has the same flavor.
Okay, yeah, and I guess maybe not like Romeo Must Die, but I really liked Romeo Must Die.
It's like they're overpowered, but they're and they've guarded their heart, but somebody, a girl usually, is softening them up and showing them how to care again and whatever.
Yeah, and I think that dynamic was very interesting. It was kind of cliche, you know, the
Leon, I think of Leon, the professional. Think
Oh,
of that.
yeah.
Taking in Natalie Portman as a young
Right.
girl. The only acting role I liked was Natalie Portman so far.
what was I saying? Oh, what I did like was his connection to the little girl was the only thing keeping him in humanity.
Well, at the same time, though, he like totally hangs her out to dry the first time.
Yeah, but
she like needs his help, and he just walks away.
yeah, but in spite of that, you know that she is the only thing keeping him connected. You know, the only thing keeping him going.
Yeah, well, she's the only one that overlooks.
Yeah,
Like, you're really rude and scary, but I'm going to hang out with you. You know,
right.
whatever.
When you first when
is
you,
that sausage? I would like some sausage.
ham. Sorry, it just reminded me of that.
Like goofy MP3 player.
When he thinks that when he finds out that she has been, you know, her eyes have been removed, you know, he goes to kill himself. You know, and I think that's a very. It says a lot.
Did you see the ending? Did you expect the ending the way it ended? I did 100%.
Yeah, I did too, and that's unfortunate because I really thought he was going to kill himself, and that would have been the ultimate ending. I think that.
Well, even if he didn't kill himself, it was some other ending. But it was, yeah. Unfortunately, it was too heavily overshadowed. I think, or yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
foreshadowed. I'm sorry, not overshadowed.
It was terribly realistic. The ending that I feel that they should have gone with was him killing himself because the child was killed.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
But that's just me, and that's what I was expecting as far as plot.
I think it's a solid film. It's just when you stack it up with the rest of them,
yeah,
it might lose a little bit.
Yeah, that's very true. But you know, I guess see, we grew up in a huge action era. You know, as far as you know, American films. Every single American film from when I was growing up had to have explosions. It had to have car chases. It had to have all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of desensitized. Yeah, desensitized to action flicks, you know. So if you want to throw an action flick at me, it has to be something new. Like I just recently watched The Expendables.
That's a crappy movie, though.
It was everything that an action film was supposed to be, and I could have fallen asleep through it.
Yeah. If it was a character we knew and loved, would it be different, or would it still just be cliche? Because I mean, a lot, you know, like Batman, is that cliche? There's lots of cliche stuff that happens, but anyway. All right, well, that's it. That's a look at A Man from Nowhere. Please broaden your horizons and look at foreign films. And this is a subtitle film, and I didn't find myself minding it.
Neither did I. Although I did question why that one guy was speaking English for no reason.
Because I think it's a common dialect. Because there was Chinese and there was Korean, and he was Chinese, and so that was a common.
English is a common dialect now?
For a lot of people, yeah. I mean, you automatically get taught English in school for a lot of people.
Well, I think we're supposed to be learning Spanish. Yeah.
Well, that's us as Americans.
Okay. Thank you for the recommendation, Asia Guy. We did enjoy the film, and we do recommend watching it as far as action flicks go. If you have anything else that you want to recommend, I'm totally down for watching it. I think I've mentioned to you, have you ever seen Tale of Two Sisters, which is another Korean film, which is a sci-fi horror film, but it was just amazing. It was a psychological thriller that was just super great, and I loved it. It was actually, there was an American remake of it, but it wasn't as good. So Tale of Two Sisters is another one that maybe we should review. So check that one out, Asia Guy. Give us more reviews. We're totally interesting. My ex-wife was Korean, so if you want to throw more stuff my way, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Support us any way you can. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We're coming up on Comic-Con, so...
Yeah, if you're going to Comic-Con, Emerald City Comic-Con, let me know. I want to know. Thank you.
All right.
Bye!
What is wrong with you, man?
Dude, I'm totally getting them. I'm like Deadshot.
Coming up next week, it's Marvel Schism.
Shake it out, shake it out.
No time for booty shaking, let's go.
My legs are getting stiff.
That's not like me to say. There's always time for booty shaking. Doing it right now, I can't tell. Yeah. Nobody wants to picture that. That's why I'm not showing you.